Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and I hope that you've had enough time during the winter to grow a thick coat because it's time to get fleeced by Wargaming. That's right, the auction is back, and starting from tomorrow, you are going to have an opportunity to be able to get your hands on a bunch of tanks. So Wargaming has a video on it. I thought we would just watch the video to have an idea of what's going to happen.
Gentlemen. The auction will commence January 24th.
Yeah.
5 days and 5 lots.
5
different
tanks.
tiers.
I wonder if we can
tell.
like, can we tell by the way that they have the cloth over the tanks what it's going to be? I don't really think so, unless they for some reason they look like motorbikes from this. But I guess that's because of the gun kind of draping off so much. I think we might be looking into it a little bit too much. We have a cupola on this one, a cupola on that one, they all look like they're Object 261s.
Different tiers, different mechanics.
Okay, so they're different tiers with different mechanics and even a different number of guns. Well, that means that there's probably going to be a double barrel tank that's going to be coming if they're saying a different number of guns.
Even different numbers of guns.
That has to be a double barrel tank. It has to be. So it actually means that they've kind of got these, the cloths do make sense from like a draping perspective.
All the lots have one thing in common.
Yeah.
They're all valuable tanks, and each one is valuable in its own way.
Oh, really? How valuable, though?
Is a new Apex Predator. It features an impressive...
Okay, so when they say Apex Predator, they're suggesting it's going to be tier 10, because that would be the pinnacle of the game, right? The top of the food chain, so to say.
Combination of mobility, armor, and firepower.
Okay, so mobility, armor, and firepower. So it sounds like it's going to be a medium tank to me. A well-armored medium, or it's going to be a very fast heavy, one of the two. Okay, what's this?
Or it could become a...
Okay, so this is either some crazy headlights, or... let's be honest, this is most likely rocket mechanics that will be coming on some kind of a vehicle. So is this going to be a rocket-based heavy that we're going to see? Well, we're just going to have to wait and find out.
Shell itself, if necessary.
Yeah.
The other lots will also contain newcomers.
Sorry, what was that last bit he said about the shell?
Or it can become a shell itself, if necessary.
Well, that pretty much cements it, that it's going to be a rocket heavy that looks like it's going to be coming to the game, which is interesting because when Wargaming put in the reward vehicle for the Battle Pass last year, the BZ whatever, I think it's called the BZ, is it the 68 something or other one? I can't even remember. It's absolutely atrocious because it doesn't even have the rockets on it, which is very disappointing. So it looks like Wargaming have learned from that.
Lots will also contain newcomers, which you'll be able to pick up for gold or credits.
Okay, when they say newcomers, I'm not sure if that suggests they're going to be new tanks. Kind of Wargaming highlighted there's going to be a double barrel and there's going to be some kind of rocket tank. Whether it's going to be a heavy or a medium, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it'll be the first ever rocket medium that'll be in the game. So it looks like there's going to be auctions for credits and auctions for gold. I'd also like to clarify that what Wargaming usually do on the Asia server is they mix it up, and it's not just gold, I believe. It's also free experience sometimes on the Asia server. So keep in mind if they're going to be repeating that for the Asia server, that you probably want to have some free experience saved up.
The auction will be an open one, meaning you can monitor rival bids and modify your own.
Okay, so you're going to be able to see what other people are bidding. So what the competitive bid is, as far as I remember, is it's kind of like the halfway point. So let's say that there are 9,000 auctions. The competitive bid will be what like the 4,500th person is that's actually kind of like winning, if that makes sense. So it is, if you really want to get the tank and want to get it as cheaply as possible, as long as you usually bid the competitive bid or even slightly below it, but don't go too far if you really want the vehicle right before the auction ends, and that's usually the best way to be able to get your hands on the vehicle fairly cheaply.
If your bid doesn't win or you cancel it, you'll get all the resources you invested back.
Invested? We're not buying stocks and shares, Wargaming. We're investing into a vehicle. They're not going to go up in price, that's for sure. In fact, all of the vehicles that you get from these auctions are usually rapidly available about 6 months or a year after for vastly cheaper or a different currency. Let's take the Mars, for example. The Mars, I believe, last year when it was released cost 25,000 gold. And then just this Christmas, I think it was bundled in at like 16,000 gold with a whole bunch of other goodies. So yeah, there's definitely not inflation in World of Tanks with regards to the price of vehicles.
And if it does win, you'll become one of a select few owners of a rare vehicle.
Wow. When they say select few owners, even their rarest tanks in the game, like the Mars, there are lots of them bombing it around on the battlefield. Let's take a look now at how rare the Mars is. Is it really like a super ultra rare vehicle? Well, it's played 10,000 times in the last 30 days. That's still pretty rare. It's definitely rarer than the Progetto. For every game there was in a Mars, there were 70 in a Progetto. But 10,000 games, that means there's going to be like 300 of them played every day. It's not really that kind of impressive from that perspective.
The auction every day, so you don't miss any good deals.
I bet you should check
Keep an eye on the bids, because
well, or you could just come by here, because every single day, as soon as we know what the vehicle is, I will be releasing videos on the tanks to let you know what I think about the vehicle, let you know about the price. Well, maybe not the price, but let you know about the vehicle and what I think it's going to be worth.
there are more bidders than there are lots.
Obviously, I won't be able to really tell you exactly how much they're going to go for. It could be a huge amount, but I'll let you know about what I think about the vehicles.
Good luck, commanders.
Good luck, commanders. Wow, sounds like we're going to have a double-barrel tank. Sounds like we're going to have a rocket tank. Is there anything extra at the end? No, there's not. So, wow, definitely interesting stuff. Apex Predator means one of them is going to be tier 10 at least that's sold. That double-barrel tank looks fairly exciting. You can clearly see when Wargaming said if it's going to have a different number of guns, it means that there's going to be a double-barrel tank. And there's also going to be like an Apex Predator, most likely with rockets. Although the rocket tank might be tier 8, so maybe they're going to put an auction of the BZ-176 up again, right? That would be absolutely diabolical. If Wargaming sell the BZ-176 in an auction, they will make a huge amount of money. But let me also tell you, it will be the end times for World of Tanks. Honestly, if they put the BZ-176 in an auction and it goes for like, I don't know, 30,000 gold, 40,000 gold, it will just show that they only care about their profits and they don't care about the balance of the game. Really, I know I've said this a lot, Wargaming should be kind of I guess when they release like about 50 vehicles a year, I can't really say that they should be absolutely ashamed of a tank that was released, because you could understand that one goes through the net, right, of the balancing procedures that they have. But the BZ-176's average win ratio is 56%. That's absolutely disgusting, boys and girls. Game breaking. I tell you what, if this is a BZ-176, that will be insane. It'll be the end times of World of Tanks with regards to pay to win. It'll be interesting to see whether that's going to be. But what other new tier 10s could there possibly be that Wargaming are going to release into the game? I could sit here all day and kind of guess about which vehicles it could possibly be at tier 10. It could be the unreleased M48A2 that went in the game at tier 9 as Patton the Tank. It could possibly be the new super tested tank, the L Kanonen Panzer, it's a Kampfpanzer 70K. This is a tier 10 German reward light tank, and it's an absolute freak of the battlefield with an impressive 17 degrees of gun depression with the hydropneumatic suspension. So I guess that could be ridiculous. I would really want to get my hands on that. It would be the new highest gun depression in the game at top tier if Wargaming do release that. There are also some bizarre vehicles like the Su-122V, a Soviet tank destroyer with an impressive armor layout that can bounce all shells as long as it isn't getting shot at from above or hit in the lower plate. But with only 3 degrees of gun depression, boy, that would be a freak at tier 10. I very much doubt they could be bringing in the WT Alpha E100 as a tier 10 reward vehicle, although this one just went up on the CIS server inside loot boxes, would you believe it? So that would be an interesting one. I think they'll need a bigger kind of cloth to throw over that inside the video. There's so many tanks that it could actually be, that it could even be an object 452K. This is a pretty fast Soviet reward vehicle. Actually, it's not too fast at 35. And one of the most likely candidates will be a tank that's been around on the super test, which is the BZ-72-1. This vehicle, actually does have rockets as well. So this is a contender for one of the rocket vehicles that could be going into the game. But once again, this is all just guesswork, and stay tuned to the channel as I will be releasing content as the auctions are revealed. One thing that is interesting is that the Asia server usually gets the auctions a little bit before us. And interestingly, they're doing server maintenance on the 24th of January from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's UTC +8, which will be probably when they're actually putting in the event in the game. Accordingly, on the Asia server, bids are going to be accepted at 10 a.m. on the 24th of January, and that is UTC +8. And for all of the previous years, the vehicles that the Asia server get have been the same as EU and NA, and so consequently, we should know what vehicle is coming up for the next day on the European and the NA server early in the morning with regards to a UK time zone. So stay tuned to the channel. It looks like it's going to be daily videos this week as Uncle QuickyBaby lets you know whether any of these auction tanks are actually going to be worth it. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that's it for the auction 2024, as the World of Tanks Asia server is calling it, or it's called the winter auction on the European server. If they're calling it a winter auction, does that mean that they're planning a summer one as well? Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. Anyway, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know in the comments what vehicles you think are going to be in the auction, and do you think the Wargaming are going to be selling a BZ-176? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.